Howdy folks, AJ coming at you again, your resident vintage gamer, and today's video is going to be all about the classic science fiction role-playing game, Metamorphosis Alpha. Now, for those that are not aware, Metamorphosis Alpha came out in 1976. It was right after the original Dungeons and Dragons came out, and so therefore it is the first science fiction themed role-playing game, paper and pencil role-playing game. And when this came out, the price was $5 for this book, and this was it. This was the whole game. 32 pages. So years and years go by. You end up having many other, science fiction role-playing games that come out. And of course, even TSR itself came out with Star Frontiers. You had Gamma World, which was post-apocalyptic, but kind of science fiction-y, So you had all those, and then, you got into Spelljammer later on and all that. And then that's just the TSR, so there was other stuff that came up from other companies and so forth. But there ended up being several editions of Metamorphosis Alpha. That is my first edition, first printing copy right there. As far as I can tell, you can't find those anymore. I just looked on Amazon. I was going to see what they were going for so I could tell you, but it doesn't even appear that you can find them currently right now. So, and I did pay, I don't remember what I paid, but that was a considerable chunk of change to get that. But I had to have that for my collection. So, after I bought that, I found out that there was a Kickstarter campaign for the new deluxe color hardback edition reissue of Metamorphosis Alpha, and I checked out the Kickstarter, and it looked frickin' awesome. Basically, what it was going to contain was all the original source material, and then all of the material that came for Metamorphosis Alpha, or about Metamorphosis Alpha in the Dragon magazines and that type of thing that was published afterwards. That was all going to be packaged into one volume along with the original source material. And then even Mr. Jim Ward's, some of his original playtest notes and things like that would also be included. And so I had to get on board with this. I kicked in for the Kickstarter, and of course then we hit a bunch of stretch goals, which means you get a bunch of extra little goodies and stuff like that. So it gets well funded, stretch goals get achieved, all that, and then I'm just at home one day and I get a package, and I hadn't expected, because they had said when they had said it was going to ship, it was going to be much later or whatever, but I got this package, and this is what it looked like. It's just a little package like this, and it says, it's got, from Goodman Games and all that, but, it's got really cool artwork and everything on the package. And so I said, well, that's pretty cool. I said, but it can't be in here. And what it turned out was that they had sent a few things in advance, and there was a little note in there that says, it even has the font for the classic Metamorphosis Alpha. I don't know if this will even show up, but it has the Metamorphosis Alpha font on there, and it says "Supply Cash. Thanks for support of Kickstarter. For your support of the Kickstarter, here is your first shipment of supply items. These are shipped separately, so we can ship the books as media mail, thus reducing shipping costs." So this was a nice little surprise that I got. And these were some of the things that you got, for the stretch goals and so forth. And the first thing was, it was all in the dice bag, which was one of the things that you got. And I chose True Human because that's what I like to play. There were 3 races in the game: True Human, there was robots, and there were mutant humans. And I used to, I wanted to play the True Human. I don't know what my original, motivation for that was, but that's what I chose. So you got the dice bag, and then inside it had a bracelet, and let's see if that'll show up. It says the Warden, which was the ship that is the setting for the entire game, Metamorphosis Alpha. It's this gigantic ship, and if you want, you can Google Metamorphosis Alpha and do some more research on that, because in the interest of time, I don't want to go into a whole history lesson about the whole thing. But basically, that's the setting, and it even has the serial number of the ship and everything on there. So, and that can be easily worn, like to go to a convention and so forth. So we've got that, and I'm going to take that off because otherwise it's going to be clanking around while I try to do this. So that, and then it came with 6 Metamorphosis Alpha themed 6-sided die, and these are yellow, and it has the radiation symbol for the 1 on them, and then some of them have the Metamorphosis Alpha logo for the 1 on there, and so there's a total of 6. And then there's one that just has MA on it and a different logo. So all different styles. There's even a different little style there. So you got 6 of these, and then there was a pin, Metamorphosis Alpha pin, with the logo, which has the Warden on it, the ship, and MA and everything. So that was the initial, little shipment that I got of goodies, and I loved the fact that that even the packaging had some really nice artwork and stuff. So I will of course save that. And then it was some time went by. Excuse me for bumping the desk there. Some time went by, and then I got the. Even though we won't go into the whole post office thing. You can see my rant videos about the post office somewhere else. So, but I had to fight to get this as a result, because this was the big one. So this came next, and there's that's the box. That's a good sized box, and of course it had more artwork on it, which I thought was really cool, and it's all done in the style, Metamorphosis Alpha style. And then even on the back, where you open the box to get to your book, it actually has another piece of artwork where they're actually cranking open a hatch, either trying to open or close a hatch. And of course, there's a hatch. It's like a hatch here where you open to get to your book. So that was kind of neat. And then inside, that's what the cover, the box cover looks like. Electric Collector's Edition, and this is quality stuff here. I mean, it's cardboard, but that's not your standard cheap stuff. I mean, that's solid, beautiful, glossy finish on it and everything. And of course, inside, you have the beauty itself. The Deluxe Collector's Edition Metamorphosis Alpha, and that, of course, is the cover from the original, cover art from the original. And this sucker is a huge volume. And inside, I love this. This is the picture of the cutaway shot of the Warden. And I don't know how much of that you're going to be able to see. But that is, of course, the setting for the game. And there is everything you could possibly imagine in here. All of the source material, maps, adventures that came out of the Dragon magazines, you name it, it's in here. And it looks like it is about 135, 36, about 138 pages, it looks like. And it even has, like I was saying about the original playtest notes, they're hand-drawn and they were just scanned in. You know, put right in from, so you have basically all of the information about Metamorphosis Alpha is in this book that exists. And they even put in the ship's roster. You won't be able to see it, it's really small, but it actually has all the Kickstarter backers, and it has me listed under Greyhawk 4x4, which I thought was really cool because I expected it to just be under my name, but it's actually there as Greyhawk 4x4, and then in parentheses it has my name. So thank you very much. Beautiful. So that was, of course, the second package, and that's the back, if you wanted to see the back of the box. And let's see here. So then, a couple days ago, I got the third and final box. This is more of the stretch goal stuff that came in. And of course, another piece of art there in the corner. So everything about this, the way they did it, the way they did the shipping, the artwork, the time that they took to put artwork on the boxes, the quality of the materials in the box set for the big volume, the quality of the paper, everything screams quality about this whole operation. So I was very much pleased about all that. So in that box, in the stretch goals, there's a total of 9 different items, and you've got little pamphlets like this. The Long Hard Mile, which is a solo adventure. Book of handouts for players. It's got pictures and stuff to show players of certain things. The Mutation Manual, which is a player source book for different mutations and things like that. And several other. What are the Prisoners of Wrecklock 119? The Captain's Table. Those are both adventures. And then the Warden Armory, which is all about arms and equipment, of course. And Creatures and Gadgets, another source book. So you got all those as stretch goals. And then, of course, everybody has to have a referee screen, right? Got to have your can't call it a DM screen because it's not Dungeon Master, so it's a GM's screen, but they call it referee screen. And of course, it's got tables and stuff outside and inside. And last but not least, you have this beautiful map of the Warden, the cutaway of the Warden. And there's no way of getting that whole thing on the screen here. So, but it even says Warden on it. So that was the extent of everything from the Kickstarter, and I was an $80 backer, and that is what I got for my $80. worth every frickin' penny. I'm not sure how much this stuff would go for if I would never part with any of this stuff, but for somebody that would, I'm sure that you'd be getting a heck of a lot more than 80 bucks if you were to try and eBay some of this stuff. So, my experience with the Kickstarter so far has been very positive. I did the Kickstarter for Tracy Hickman and Laura Hickman's board game, Sojourner Tales. Got that and the stretch goals for that and all that stuff. Got it autographed. I did this Kickstarter, got all this, and I hope to meet Mr. Ward and other people that were involved at a convention at some point, and maybe get some of that autographed. And so I've got a couple other Kickstarters I've backed, and I expect to get fulfillment through that. So as far as I'm concerned, Kickstarter is, I've had nothing but good experiences. I know other people have had bad experiences, but that's not the case for me. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. We're going quite long here, but I just wanted to show you what was happening with the Metamorphosis Alpha franchise at this point, and I can't wait to play some of this. Now that I've got my big game room, I can dive into this. So anyway, we'll catch you guys on the flip side.